Don't introduce yourself as my boyfriend. Just say you're a friend, she told me before the party. I said, okay. When we got there, I introduced her to people as someone I used to date. She pulled me aside furious. I said, you wanted honesty. We're done. And left. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I never thought I'd be posting here, but after everything that's happened, I need to get this off my chest. This is my story of how my ex-girlfriend's casual cruelty blew up our relationship in one night, and how karma came knocking harder than I could have imagined. Buckle up, it's a doozy. Let me start from the beginning, because context matters. My name's Alex, fake for obvious reasons, and I was 28 when this all went down. I'd been with Sarah for just over 2 years. We met through mutual friends at a casual game night. She was the bubbly graphic designer type, always laughing at my dumb jokes, and I was the steady software engineer who liked planning weekend getaways. From the jump, I was all in. I mean, loyal to a fault. I helped her through a rough patch when she got laid off from her job 6 months into dating, covered her rent for a couple months, cooked meals, even helped redesign her portfolio so she could land freelance gigs. I turned down a promotion that would have required relocating because she said she wasn't ready to move. Looking back, I sacrificed a lot without thinking twice, because that's what you do when you love someone, right? But over time, cracks started showing. Sarah had this way of making me feel like I was never quite enough. It was subtle at first, little comparisons to other guys. Like, we'd be watching a movie, and she'd say something like, see, that's the kind of adventure I want. You're always so predictable. Or she'd scroll through social media and like posts from this one coworker, Jake, who was all about his epic travels and gym selfies. I'd brush it off, tell myself it was nothing. But then came the emotional distance. She'd cancel plans last minute for work drinks that always seemed to involve Jake's crowd. One night, I found her giggling over texts from him. Nothing explicit, but flirty enough to sting. When I asked about it, she rolled her eyes and said, God, Alex, it's just banter. Don't be so insecure. I should have seen the writing on the wall, but I was committed. I planned a surprise weekend trip to a cabin upstate for our 2-year anniversary. Hiking, wine, the works. She loved it at the time, or at least acted like she did. But a week later, she started pulling away more. Fewer texts during the day, more nights out with friends. I felt like I was chasing her affection, always the one initiating. It confused the hell out of me. I'd lay awake wondering what I'd done wrong, replaying conversations in my head. Was I too boring? Too safe? I even started hitting the gym more, trying to spice things up, but it felt forced. Then came the party. It was a mutual friend's birthday bash at some rented loft in the city. Nothing fancy, just drinks, music, and about 50 people from our overlapping circles. Sarah had been hyping it up for weeks, saying how fun it would be to let loose. The afternoon before, as we were getting ready in our apartment, she dropped the bomb. We were standing in the bedroom. I was tying my shoes, and she was fixing her makeup in the mirror. Hey, Alex, she said casually, like she was commenting on the weather. When we get to the party, don't introduce yourself as my boyfriend, okay? Just say you're a friend. I froze mid-knot. What? What? She didn't even look at me, just kept blending her eyeshadow. It's not a big deal. Jake and some work people might be there, and I don't want things to get weird or awkward. You know how office gossip is. Plus, labels are so restrictive. We're just hanging out tonight, right? Keep it light. Her tone was so dismissive, like I was overcomplicating a simple request. It hit me like a gut punch. This woman I'd built my life around was basically asking me to pretend we weren't together. To hide me. For what? So she could flirt freely with Jake? I felt a wave of confusion and hurt wash over me, but I didn't explode. That's not my style. Instead, I just nodded slowly. Okay, I said, keeping my voice even. If that's what you want. She smiled at her reflection, satisfied. Cool, thanks. You're the best. We drove to the party in near silence. My mind was racing, replaying every sacrifice, every late-night talk where I'd assured her I was in this for the long haul. By the time we parked, I'd made a decision. If she wanted honesty without labels, she'd get it. The loft was buzzing when we walked in, string lights, a makeshift bar, people laughing in clusters. Sarah immediately spotted a group and waved, pulling me along. First introductions came quick, a couple of her work friends approached us. "Hey, Sarah, who's this?" one asked, nodding at me. Sarah opened her mouth, but I beat her to it, calm as could be. "Hi, I'm Alex. And this is Sarah, someone I used to date." The words hung in the air. Her friends exchanged awkward glances, chuckling nervously like it was a joke. Sarah's face went from confused to pissed in seconds. She forced a laugh. "Ha, very funny. He's my boyfriend." But I just shrugged. "Nah, we're good as friends tonight, right?" We mingled a bit more, and I did it again with another group, introduced her the same way. By the third time, she was seething. She grabbed my arm and yanked me into a quiet corner by the kitchen, away from the crowd. Her eyes were blazing. "What the hell are you doing?" she hissed, her voice low but sharp. "You're embarrassing me." I met her gaze steadily, no anger, just resolve. "You told me not to introduce myself as your boyfriend, just a friend. So I figured honesty was key. If we're downplaying things, might as well be accurate." She crossed her arms, smirking like I was being ridiculous. "Oh my God, Alex, grow up. I didn't mean for you to act like we're broken up. I just didn't want Jake thinking I'm tied down. He's got this big project coming up, and networking is important. You're always so literal. Why can't you just play along? It's not like I'm cheating or anything, yet." That "yet" slipped out, and she caught herself, but it was too late. Her words twisted like a knife. Excuses piled on justifications, all wrapped in smug logic. "Look, you're great and all, but Jake gets my creative side. He's exciting, travels everywhere, pushes me to be better. You're comfortable, safe. But I need more than that right now. If you can't handle a little white lie for my career, maybe we're not compatible anyway." I stood there, letting her words sink in. The confusion I'd felt earlier crystallized into clarity. This wasn't about a party or networking. It was about her treating me like a backup plan, humiliating me publicly while she eyed someone else. But I didn't beg or argue. I just nodded once. "You wanted honesty. We're done." Her smirk faltered. "Wait, what? You're breaking up with me over this? That's pathetic." "No," I said quietly. "I'm just agreeing with you. Good luck with Jake." And with that, I turned and walked out the door, leaving her standing there stunned. The drive home was a blur. I blocked her number before I even got back to the apartment, packed an overnight bag, and crashed at a buddy's place. That night, I sat on his couch, staring at the wall, feeling the weight of it all. The unfairness hit hard. 2 years of loyalty, and she discards me like yesterday's news. I wondered if I'd overreacted, if I should have fought more. But deep down, I knew. Her disrespect was the real betrayal. It wasn't physical yet, but emotional abandonment stings just as bad. Little did I know, that was only the start of her downfall. The days after the party were rough, but not in the way I'd expected. I didn't spiral into depression or drown my sorrows in beer. Instead, I went quiet, internally and externally. I took a week off work, not to mope, but to reset. I crashed at my buddy Mike's place. The one who'd always warned me Sarah was high maintenance. He didn't say, "I told you so," just handed me a controller for some video games and let me vent when I was ready. Sitting there on his lumpy couch, I dissected everything. The confusion lingered. How had I become the backup guy? I'd given up that job transfer for her stability, planned that anniversary trip to make her feel special, even tolerated her banter with Jake because I trusted her. Now, it all felt like emotional abandonment, her slowly checking out while I held on. It was unfair, yeah, but yelling about it wouldn't change a thing. I decided to channel that energy into myself. I unblocked her temporarily to grab my stuff from the apartment while she was at work, left my key on the counter, and that was it. No drama. Detachment was my armor. Back at Mike's, I started small. Hit the gym consistently, not for her, but for me. Picked up running, which cleared my head. Work-wise, I threw myself into projects I'd sidelined. That promotion I'd passed on. The company offered something similar locally, and I took it. More responsibility, better pay. I even started therapy, not because I was broken, but to understand why I'd ignored the red flags. Sessions helped. I realized her manipulations, like those constant comparisons, had chipped away at my confidence. But I wasn't bitter. I was evolving. By month 2, I felt clearer, calmer. Life without the eggshells was freeing. Meanwhile, whispers of karma started trickling in. Mutual friends filled me in, unprompted, probably because Sarah's version of events painted me as the villain. Turns out, Jake wasn't the knight in shining armor she'd imagined. He was married, for starters, something she'd overlooked in her excitement. Their fling kicked off right after the party. She moved in with him temporarily, posting vague stories online about new adventures. But Jake was unstable, big talker at work, but a hothead behind closed doors. Office drama escalated when his wife found out, leading to HR involvement. Sarah got caught in the crossfire, fired for conflict of interest after emails surfaced showing she'd used company time for their hookups. Friends ditched her fast. Our overlapping circles saw through her hypocrisy. She'd badmouth me as clingy while chasing a cheater. One by one, they stopped inviting her out. She ended up isolated, crashing on her sister's couch, scraping by on freelance gigs that dried up because her reputation tanked. Jake? He ghosted her after the divorce papers hit, leaving her with nothing but regrets and a maxed-out credit card from their spontaneous dates. It was poetic, really. She discarded me for excitement, only to get discarded herself. I didn't seek this info, it found me. And I didn't gloat. I just kept building, traveled solo to that cabin we'd visited, turned it into a personal retreat. Started dating casually, nothing serious, but it reminded me I was desirable. Life was rising quietly. Then the attempt started. First, about a month post-breakup, text from a new number. She'd gotten around the block somehow. "Hey Alex, it's Sarah. Can we talk? I miss you." I read it, felt a flicker of old hurt, but deleted without replying. More came. "Please?" It was a stupid mistake. Jake was nothing. Voicemails next, her voice shaky. "Alex, pick up. I know I screwed up. You were always there for me, and I took it for granted. Let's meet coffee?" My treat. I ignored them, but she escalated, involving her toxic crew. Her sister called from an unknown number. "Listen, Alex, you're being a dick. Sarah's going through hell, lost her job, that asshole Jake bailed. She needs support. Man up and call her back." Her best friend messaged on social media, "Dude, forgive and forget. She's sorry. Don't be petty." It was unpleasant, pushy, like they expected me to fix her mess. But I stayed silent, blocking each one. Her attempts turned desperate, showing up at my new apartment. Mike must have slipped the address. I opened the door to her standing there, eyes red, hair messy. "Alex, thank God. Let me in. We need to talk." I stood in the doorway, calm. "No, we don't." She pushed past anyway, glancing around like she owned the place. Look, I was wrong. Jake was abusive, yelled, controlled everything. He even took my savings for his business ideas. I'm broke, sleeping on a couch. But you're stable. We were good together. Remember the cabin? I need that again. I need you. Her words dripped hypocrisy, admitting she'd chased excitement, only to beg for my safety. I didn't budge. "Sarah, you made your choice. I'm not your fallback." She teared up, voice rising. "How can you be so cold? After everything, you're acting like I meant nothing." "You treated me like nothing," I said evenly. "Goodbye." I closed the door, locked it. She banged for a minute, then left. That night, angry texts flooded in. "You'll regret this. You're nothing special. Jake was right about you being boring." It revealed her true colors, smug when winning, vicious when losing. But I was done letting it affect me. The desperation ramped up over the next few weeks. Sarah's attempts went from pleading to unhinged. More calls from borrowed phones, emails to my work address, which I flagged as spam. Her family piled on harder. Her mom left a voicemail. "Alex, this is ridiculous." Sarah's family. "And you're abandoning her? She's depressed, can't eat. Come fix this. You owe her after 2 years." Owe her? For what? The betrayal. It was toxic, entitled, like they saw me as her emotional ATM. Friends of hers I'd never liked chimed in via group chats. "Bro, give her a chance. She's changed." But she hadn't. The anger phase hit full swing after my rejections. Public posts subtweeting me. "Some people are too weak to forgive, good riddance." It backfired. Mutuals unfollowed her, siding with me privately. By month 4, she was unraveling visibly. Lost more gigs, gained a rep for drama. Jake's ex-wife even messaged me anonymously, confirming he'd done this before, used women, then ditched. Sarah was just the latest casualty. I, meanwhile, thrived. New job led to a raise. I bought a small condo, furnished it my way. Started seeing Emily, a kind, adventurous woman from my running group. No games, just mutual respect. Life felt complete, her irrelevance growing daily. The final nail came at our mutual friend Lisa's wedding, 6 months post-breakup. I RSVP'd yes, knowing Sarah might be there, but I wasn't hiding. The venue was a charming garden hall, string lights twinkling, laughter everywhere. I arrived with Emily on my arm, feeling at peace. Mid-reception, Sarah approached during cocktail hour. She looked worn, dress ill-fitting, makeup heavy to hide bags under her eyes. Desperation clung to her like cheap perfume. "Alex," she said, voice cracking. "Can we talk?" "Privately." Emily squeezed my hand supportively. I nodded to Sarah. We stepped to a quiet patio. "Look, I know I've been awful," she started, tears welling. "Jake destroyed me. Cheated, stole, left me homeless basically. I'm in therapy now, trying to fix myself. But I realize what I lost. You were the best thing in my life. Stable, kind. We can start over. I'll change. Please." Her hypocrisy shone, begging for the boring stability she'd mocked. I stayed composed, no sympathy. "Sarah, you said I was too safe, too predictable, that you needed excitement like Jake. Well, you got it, and the consequences." She flinched. "I was stupid. I didn't mean it. You're better than him. Let's try again." I shook my head. "No, you taught me what I don't want. Someone who treats me as a backup, disrespects me publicly. I've built something better. New job, new home, someone who values me. You're irrelevant now. Focus on your own growth." Her face twisted, desperation to anger. "So that's it? You're just done? With her?" She nodded toward Emily inside. "She'll see you're nothing special." I mirrored her old logic calmly. "Like you said at the party, labels are restrictive. We're not compatible. Goodbye, Sarah." I walked back in, rejoining Emily. Sarah stood there, stunned, then left early. Mutuals noticed, whispers of her seeing my poise. Later, she tried one last text barrage, but I blocked for good. That night, dancing with Emily, I felt free. Sarah's betrayal was a catalyst for my upgrade. She's a footnote. I'm the author now. Final update, blocked her circle. Thriving. If you're in a similar spot, walk away with dignity. Karma handles the rest. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.